I frequently get asked, why did you become a chiropractor? I always visited one when I was growing up, but where it really hit me was as I was excelling as a runner. Now, I took myself from a kid in grade school who was the sixth person on the team for my year, and rose myself up to be a NCAA cross-country runner on scholarship. Now I'm going to share with you my method to how I managed to do that and how that relates to my care for patients currently. Only 2% of US high schoolers make it from their high school team to an NCAA running team. So if we want to factor in, you want to add Canada to that, and then narrow it down to even kids on scholarship on those teams, probably talking maybe 0.5%. So you're talking about 0.5%. Those are pretty slim odds for anyone in high school to really go up against. So how did I do that? When I was going from grade school into high school, I really just did running to kind of keep up with it. It's like, oh, this is good, this is fun, I'll just keep doing it. You had kids along the way who stopped trying, or oh, this is too hard, I'm going to quit. I can't do it in high school. I figured, why not? Like, we're getting into high school, let's try this, let's try that, we'll just keep doing it. It never really intimidated me, but I never really took it seriously. So after that point, I did it in grade 9. I had some friends. I got better, but I still was like, okay, this is good, but it didn't really do too much with it. And then something clicked, and I was thinking, you know what? Let's get good at running. Let's see if we can do it. Let's get serious about it. But it's one thing to say, okay, let's get serious about it. I'm going to do all this, all that. So how did I really get serious about it? What did I do? It's easy to say you're going to do these things, but how did I go about it? So it's important to understand that running is a very physiological sport. There's no sideline to sit on. There's no one to tap you out and be like, okay, I need a breather. Like, we need a timeout here. I can't do it. No, as soon as the gun goes off, you've got to go, and whatever state you're in, it's going to show up on the record sheet. So you've got to make sure that all the fine-tuning parts are all correct, making sure you're tuned up for the race so you're ready to go. And now, I was no protege. I wasn't winning all the races from when I was a young age all the way up. Like I said, I was the 6th guy in my grade in an elementary school. So that's not very good. So for me, since I didn't have that natural talent, I wasn't already ahead of the punch. I had to make sure I did everything to the best of my ability. I couldn't kind of hang my hat on my skill or my natural talents. I had to make sure everything was in check, everything was going well. So, whether you're trying to accomplish anything, if you use this same strategy as I did for running, you can be successful in anything you want to do. So what did I do? I broke it down into the components of what I had to accomplish. I couldn't just hang it on the skill. I had to make sure I showed up for my training and competed the best I could, showing up to practice, not skipping out. First year I skipped out on weekends. I was like, yeah, this is good, but I'm not going to do it on weekend. I didn't miss a practice the next 3 years of high school. So number 1 is training. Number 2 is recovery. You can train as hard as you want, but if you're not taking care of yourself before and after, then you're not setting yourself up for success. I had to make sure before my training, I was doing everything right during the day, prepping my muscles, getting myself warmed up. Afterwards, making sure I was taking time to stretch, to recover, so I could prepare for the next day. There's always the next day, the next competition. Number 3 is sleep. I had to make sure I got a good night's sleep. You have to make sure you recover overnight. If you're staying up late doing everything that you're trying to accomplish, you're going to burn yourself out. And that happens time to time, but that was the third part that I had to make sure. Number 4 was my nutrition. If you don't put in good fuel, you're not going to be able to run a good race. And you find out soon enough that when you eat something bad, you try to go for a run, you never make that mistake again. So making sure you have good nutrition was number 4. Number 5 is mindset. I had to want to be better. I had to go after it. Setting goals for myself, tracking them, having that dedication, that discipline to keep going at it every day, and camaraderie. You need a good environment. You need good teammates. I had some of the best teammates, people who were way better than me, people who went off to national teams, did way more than I did, but you need that camaraderie to get you interested in the sport and to continue and to help achieve your goals. So those are the 5 things: training, recovery, sleep, nutrition, and mindset. I followed these day in, day out, and was really excited about it. Getting excited about every little victory, doing every single one of those to the best of my ability, and I knew surely it would come, I would get to be better. That's what got me into the 1%. The 1% of runners in high school. Now, this relates directly to how I deal with patients. Taking a holistic approach to how we deal with care to make sure that we're not just worried about one little issue. In order to be healthy, you've got to look at the full picture. You've got to take care of yourself. You've got to exercise. You've got to sleep. You've got to allow yourself to recover, whether that's treatment or taking care of yourself outside of that. You need to have good nutrition. And you need to have relationships. You need to work on your mindset to have good mental health in order to be well-rounded, to make your 1%, whatever that is. So it's not just with sports or with health. You can apply this comprehensive, holistic approach to anything you want to accomplish and achieve it. For me, that was with running, and now I use that same approach when I'm treating my patients to look at what's the full picture and working at each one of those to make sure we get you to the 1% you need. Thank you, Toastmasters, for listening to my speech.